pull them up from deep water, the gases are expanding in their body and it's actually displacing organs. You need to take some action to help that fish get back down to the bottom on its own. In today's era, people are using descending devices.
We got this big thunderstorm building up right here. We're gonna see if we can get out around it. Hey, we're trying to run around these storms. We're not doing a very good job of it at the moment. Yeah, look at that! There he is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Chasing the Sun is brought to you by Holiday Inn Resort, Panama City Beach. Humminbird, simply, clearly better. Florida Water Sports. Get all you need for the water at fws.fish. Minn Kota. And by Pirates Cove Marina. You enjoy the Gulf, we'll take care of the rest.
All right, I'm here with Nick from Return 'em Right this morning, and we're gonna do a little different show. We're gonna go reef fishing, and y'all know a lot of the style of reef fishing we do. We're fishing, you know, anywhere from 80 to maybe 150 foot of water. And some of those fish that we catch, we gotta release, and they experience barotrauma. We're gonna try to educate a little bit, but actually show y'all what barotrauma looks like and how to identify it in the fish that you catch. And then that's where Nick's gonna come in and show us how to return those fish properly.
Yep, absolutely. Part of being a good fisherman is not only learning how to catch fish, but also learn how to release them properly too.
You know, I don't know if it's always a good sign when it's one of the last weekends of snapper season and you roll up to the bait boat and there's no one in line there. I knew we were working with small windows here. You just gotta really watch the radar, watch the weather. There you go, sir, keep the change, thank you very much. And kind of know the water and be, you know, have plan B, be ready to react.
So we're fishing in 103. So I'm actually gonna set this to 100.
Okay.
In today's era, people are using descending devices a lot more frequently. Basically what these devices do is they carry the fish back down to depth. Those gases that expanded on the way up recompress back to their natural state and allow that fish to swim back off on its own. This one specifically is called a sequelizer,
okay.
And you can actually set the depth of release on the back here, which is really cool. So to do that, you align this split ring here with the screw head,
yep.
And this turns into a button. So we're just gonna push it in halfway and turn, and now it's set to 100 feet.
I noticed earlier it has 3 settings. So
yeah.
What are the 3 depth settings on there?
So this is the standard sequelizer. So the default setting with this button all the way out is 50 feet.
Okay.
Then if you push in until that first line's gone and
yep.
turn, that's 100. If you push in all the way and turn, that's 150.
Gotcha.
So super simple. Once you turn it 90 degrees, it kind of locks in, so
okay.
you can't turn that anymore. But yeah, at 103, I'm gonna set it at 100.
All right. Let's set it in and just drop this thing down and make sure this is gonna work.
Yeah, it's right on the edge, 103. I like to have it.
Oh, okay, so we can drop it down, reel it up, and see if the jaw's open?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So
I
I didn't know we could test it out.
So you're gonna get that fish almost back down to the school it came from or the structure, help it avoid some of those predators so that it can survive release to hopefully grow, spawn, and even more so be caught when we can keep it.
I did it a little differently than I think that Nick was familiar with. Normally he just has a devoted rod on the boat, just with a conventional reel. Room is somewhat important on here, and I don't want to use a whole rod devoted to that, but I do have this little tiny kite rod, and it's electric. So you can literally drop this thing to the bottom, and when it hits and releases the fish, you just flip the switch, definitely hit the bottom. It remembers where the top is, and it cranks itself back up, and you can just leave it in the back corner. It's there, out of the way, all by itself, ready to go again. And it should stop, you know, about 10 feet down, yeah. So that way it doesn't slam that 3-pound weight into the side of the boat or the tip. All right, we'll just wind it on up.
And it's open.
Looky there.
So
the jaws
are open. So at 103 feet, we're good to set it to 100 foot.
We had the descending device ready, but Nick had brought this really cool rig with this big fin on it to stabilize a camera so we could show y'all as these fish are going down, the device releasing them. before we worry about filming, we gotta see if we can catch something first. Sure enough, first 2 bites, 2 red snapper. This one bit up near the surface.
Pretty fish.
Yeah. When we're fishing in close like this is a typical summertime, you know, especially we're late in snapper season. And, you know, this is a lot of times the size fish we're trying to target. They're definitely keepers, about 18, 19-inch snappers. Oh, no, that's a small red snapper.
That's a small
right
one. This one's got to go back.
Yeah, this one could ride with us, but I think we'll use him. Well, I don't know.
Should we try to do 2 on the same device?
Can you? I didn't know those
We
were
can
thing.
try.
So we have 2 sequelizers on one weight, clip both snappers on, send them straight back to the bottom. Nice.
All right.
Yeah. Look at this, y'all.
So we're gonna do 2 at a time here. Try something
2 red
different.
snappers. Look at their bellies completely blown up. That's why they're trying to sit upside down.
That smaller one's eyes is even bulging a
Yeah.
little bit there.
All right, to the bottom they go.
And you'll actually know this device, the fish pops off, because when that fish pops off, this is gonna speed up, because now you have a 3-pound weight and you're not pulling a fish down.
Gotcha.
So as soon as the device starts speeding up, you know the fish released and you can pull it back up.
Assuming that worked as planned, I'm gonna say we returned them right. Look at there, we're empty. Nice, that's so cool. It doesn't get much quicker and easier than that either.
Now, when you have it rigged up,
Matter of fact, let's just leave 2 clips on there.
good.
Could it hurt? Feels like another tail pincher snapper. Maybe it's a mangrove. How about that? Yeah, that would be.
Got one.
Uh-oh. You know, snapper season in the Gulf of Mexico is huge. And the reason is because they're fun to catch, they're beautiful, but they're delicious. There he is. Oh, that's
There
a
he
big
is.
mangrove.
Big
Look at that
bang.
mangrove. So we're trying to film a show about properly descending these fish back to the bottom in a healthy way, but most of these are okay for us to keep. He is not going on the descending
No,
device.
he's going straight in the box. Well, another one of our saying is return them right into the cooler.
That's exactly right. That's the other part of this management plan.
Yeah.
So we're catching things that can actually go in the box.
That's a beautiful mangrove right there. I'm used to fishing them inshore in a few feet of water. Hey, I'll take those 14, 15-inch ones for tacos all day, but that's a beautiful fish.
Well, I know once they cross 10 inches and we can keep them, they're all good eating. It's funny that we have this dilemma, but we do find a good balance in that too. And that's what's so important, is that balance.
Pretty cool here is you can feel all that air in there.
Yeah.
How hard it is,
Absolutely.
even at 103 feet from barrel trauma. So if we were to vent them, actually, could probably
Better
show
have a good grip on them. One thing I've noticed is once you vent them, they really come back to life. I think they
Well,
can feel like, all right, that feels
I don't
a lot
think
better.
anyone likes getting stabbed with a needle.
Hey, but think about
but-
when you got that much pressure on your gut. Nice.
Hear that?
Yeah.
So that's what you would do to vent them if you were venting and releasing. But luckily for us, it's going in the box. When you pull them up from deep water, the gases are expanding in their body and it's actually displacing organs. Look at that, you got the stomach coming out too. So the swim bladder expands and pushes that stomach out of the mouth. Sometimes you'll see the eyes bulging on some of the grouper species. So there's a suite of signs of barrel trauma that basically tell you that you need to take some action to help that fish get back down to the bottom on its own. So you can see the stomach's kind of firm and bloated. And what happened here is actually the swim bladder expanded in the body and pushed its stomach out of its mouth. So that's actually the fish's stomach, not its swim bladder. The swim bladder expanded in here. And there's some techniques used in the past, such as using venting tools. But in today's era, people are using descending devices a lot more frequently, which is typically a safer way to release these fish back down to the habitat they came from. We're set at 100 feet. Yep, it's recording. And down it goes. As a fish is going down the water column, that's all water rushing over the gills and helping oxygenate those gills helping that fish kind of revive on the way down, and it's not having to use energy after fighting the whole way up to get back to its habitat. So that's just one of the many benefits. Also, anytime you vent a fish, you're risking infection if you're putting a needle into the side of a fish. You also have to know where to put it, and you might be offshore on a rocking boat, and it can be tough sometimes. So yeah, there's a lot of advantages to these devices, and a lot of anglers aren't familiar with them, so it's great to kind of know both practices and let the angler do what they think is best in whatever situation they're fishing. Just like that, it's good to go.
Might have another specimen for you. Feels like another tail pincher snapper. Maybe it's a mangrove. How about that?
Oh, golly, my big bait got grab that thing.
I got it.
All right. Man, now I'm gonna catch a little snapper. You're gonna get the big one, made me look bad.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's close to a legal snapper right there. And that is definite barotrauma. And you're gonna have one that's gonna probably go, well, he's like that last one I had. You know what, I'd throw him in the box.
This guy?
Yeah.
All right.
He's got nice size fillets, and he's still gonna be in my 10 out of 10 food quality.
Oh yeah.
This guy right here, we're gonna let him suck that thing down as he goes back to the bottom. All right, here we go. Clip them on, set the weight in. In a weird way, when you're using this equalizer, it's actually fun releasing the fish. To the bottom he goes, look at that. There's something about releasing a fish and then knowing you were a part of that release. And that was what I got with this equalizer, was there was just something neat about sending that fish to the bottom, and you get this weird, like, just feeling of gratification knowing you took that fish back to his home, released him healthy down on the bottom. Not only do we win through conservation, but we win because this is a lot quicker and easier than trying to get him and vent him, and then he floats off, you go pick him up again, you try to, you know, take good care of him like that. So easy. Clicking gear, back to the top. And then you get to see that release come up empty. And you know that fish is down there swimming around for us to catch another day. It's not that we want to return them all, we want them to be there for the future. So it added a new aspect to reef fishing that I never knew existed. All right, let's see what we got. We have an empty descending tool. That is really neat. Hey, we're trying to run around these storms. We're not doing a very good job of it at the moment. When you feel the temps dropping drastically in July, you better get out of there. You know, the fun thing, Nick, is when you're fishing with a descending device, every fish you catch is fun in one way or another, because either it gets to go in the box or you get to send them back to the bottom. And it's kind of fun either way. Man, I've been trying to get Nick down here for months to come fish with me. And you know, sometimes our schedules are just hard to piece together and get to line up.
Octopus jig. Anyone that knows me knows I bring one of these with me every time I go offshore.
It's summertime. I'm super busy, he's busy. Return them right is really taking off. You know, people are getting educated on how to release fish properly. All right, here we go. We're gonna clamp them on, set them in the water, and away he goes. This setup with the sequelizer worked so efficiently that now I realize if I just did this every time, not only am I increasing the chance of survival for every fish, but I'm actually quicker, because as soon as I drop them down, zip them back up to the top. All right, there we go. And back up. The weight on there actually fits into a rod holder, so you don't have it swinging around the boat. The whole system is just set up to be easy, and I really encourage anyone that sees this, just give it a try, because once you do it, once you use this system a couple times, you see how quick and easy it is, and anything that can make us more efficient is gonna make us catch more fish. You know, dodging storms is just a way of life out here on the Gulf, especially in the summertime. Hey, we're trying to run around these storms. We're not doing a very good job of it at the moment. When you feel the temps dropping drastically in July, you better get out of there. There's a black wall in front of us. So rather than sitting on this bottom right here in like 150 foot, this is Humminbird's Coastmaster Florida Premium card in here. I am interested to see if we come down here and fish these big contours. I don't know if there's anything there or not. Hey, we're gonna look around a little bit.
If we catch something to keep, great. If we have to send it back, maybe you'll see what the bottom looks like on the camera.
Oh, that's even better. I didn't think about that. Well, that's what we're doing. You know, days like today really make me thankful that I put all these cool new technologies on this new boat. From my chirp radar that I have that is hooked up to my Humminbird Apex, I can see these storms actually form out there. I got a Seakeeper on here, right? Around these storms, it gets really windy, really rough. You may see our drone pilot laying down at some point because we got the best of him and he wasn't feeling quite so good. But for everybody else, we stayed feeling really nice. Ended up running a long ways, probably 30 miles, to stay away from these storms. We're gonna push the limits and we're gonna do everything we need to do to accomplish our goals. And now that we've done that, we've caught the fish we wanted to catch, we got the footage of releasing these fish healthy with the sequelizer back to the bottom. You know, now we're actually just fun fishing.
Eating wise, mangrove or?
Mangrove
all day? Okay,
all day.
I'm on the same team there.
All right, we can be friends then. I got him, whatever he is. It ain't a big something, it feels more snappery. Looks like a lane, oh, that's a beeliner. Not a big one. So I don't know if it's just because we have 8 gazillion vermilion snapper here. Everybody here will tell you that a vermilion tastes better than a red snapper and a mangrove snapper. I'm like, yeah, you're on.
They're lower on the totem pole for me. What do we got?
Oh, is there lane?
Oh, there we go.
That's our slam right there.
Yeah, snapper slam.
We got the 4 snappers of the panhandle. And I got one to stick too.
Look at that, pretty fish. Beauty. Stomach coming out of the mouth. Luckily, that's all right, because
and what do you know, I got his brother right here.
He's going in the box.
I tell you what, by our lane standards, these are actually not that big. They're nice, you know, lane snapper is generally a smaller snapper. Beautiful fish.
I think you got me beat by a little bit there.
I don't know. Neither of them are trophies.
Either way.
But they're making that box nice and colorful.
Chasing the Sun has been brought to you by Return 'em Right, Earn Another Fight, Florida Water Sports. Get all you need for the water at fws.fish. Holiday Inn Resort, Panama City Beach. Humminbird, simply, clearly better. And by Pirates Cove Marina, you enjoy the Gulf, we'll take care of the rest.
If you've ever visited Panama City Beach, you likely went to Shell Island. It's a beautiful 7-mile-long white sand beach with emerald shores. Believe it or not, Shell Island didn't exist up until about August of 1934. If you can imagine, the Army Corps of Engineers has been digging for over a year to cut this new pass in a peninsula that's called Land's End. And when they do get the new pass cut, it'll be safer and better for everybody, and Shell Island will have been worn. Shell Island is a jewel of the Panama City Beach area because it's untouched. You take a boat through this pass, if you take a right, there's civilization as far as the eye can see. But if you take a left, you just have untouched beauty for miles and miles and miles. The way it always was. Beautiful.
There we go. Uh-oh, I think that's him. Could it be? Red Snapper City? And that would be one more for the box. Do we want to put them in the box or release them?
It's pretty close.
Yeah, he definitely makes the 16 inches. And I know that because I measure 10,000 of these every summer. I don't like keeping the ones after measure. So we have a pile of fish in the cooler. Even though I could keep that guy, we have this great descending device. So we're gonna send him back to the bottom. You know, I remember when Minn Kota came out with the spot lock trolling motor. I resisted that technology at first. It changed the way we fish. Well, that same experience is what I got using this equalizer setup and being able to return those fish to the bottom. I now keep one on the boat full time, and I do a lot of reef fishing. And you know, if I'm fishing in a depth of water beyond 80 feet, where these fish are gonna need some assistance getting back to the bottom, I'm gonna use this equalizer. There's no reason not to. Real outdoorsmen are all conservationists. So
Yeah,
if you consider
absolutely.
yourself an outdoorsman, make sure you're taking the measures just like this to take care of the fish we're gonna let go. And that way we have them here for another day.
Yep, whether it's venting, descending, there's gonna be a time for each if you're an avid offshore angler. So having the gear on board, knowing how to use it and being prepared is all you can do.
That's right.
Got a box of fish, knowing we took care of the ones that we had to release.
So everybody that's watching this, where do they go to get educated and to learn how to use these devices, and if you're fishing in the Gulf, actually get their free device?
Yeah, returnthemright.org. We have a little 15-minute training on venting, descending, even dehooking, just best release practices, and we mail the gear for free. It's a $100 kit, 2 descending devices, pre-rigged to a weight. So you keep the box on the boat with you, have it ready when you need it, and you're all set. We can all do our part in conservation. I think all of us doing a little bit will go a long way in the future.